Today we celebrate Our Lady of Loreto. The most treasured and venerated shrine of Our Lady throughout the world is that of the Holy House of Nazareth in the Basilica at Loreto, Italy. And rightly so, for according to tradition, to testimonies of popes and saints, this is where the recreation, our redemption, began. Over the past several centuries, people from all parts of the world have traveled to this shrine to pray and seek Our Lady's help. Thousands of miracles attributed to Our Lady have been recorded at Loreto. The tradition and history of the Holy House goes back to apostolic times. From the earliest days of Christianity, the little house and the grotto, which formed one side of the Holy House, have been a place of worship and pilgrimage. Shortly after the year 313, Constantine the Great had a large basilica built over the Holy House of Nazareth. The Holy House and the grotto form part of the crypt of the new church. About the year 1090, the Saracens invaded the Holy Land, plundering and destroying many of the shrines sacred to Christians. One of these was the Basilica in Nazareth, but the Holy House and grotto in the crypt were left intact. When St. Francis of Assisi visited the Holy Land somewhere between 1219 and 1220, he prayed at the Holy House. St. Louis IX, King of France, also visited and received Holy Communion in the shrine when he was leading a crusade to liberate the Holy Land from the Muslims. Another basilica was built during the 12th century to protect the Holy House and offer ample room for pilgrims. The second basilica was destroyed when the Muslims overpowered the Crusaders in 1263. Again, the Holy House escaped destruction and was left intact under the ruins of the basilica. Finally, in 1291, the Crusaders were completely driven out of the Holy Land, and it was at this point in history that the Holy House disappeared from Palestine and made its appearance in what is now known as present-day Croatia, where a most important shrine was erected, Our Lady of Trsato in Italian. Tradition tells us that on May 9th, 1291, the Holy House was raised from its foundations in Nazareth and translated and transported by the angels across the Mediterranean from Palestine to Dalmatia to the small town of Trsato. The pastor of the Church of St. George at Trsato was puzzled by the sudden appearance of what looked like a tiny church and prayed for enlightenment. His prayers were answered when the Blessed Virgin appeared to him in sleep and told him that this was indeed the Holy House of Nazareth, where the Annunciation took place, and it was brought here through the power of God. With the Muslims taking over Albania in 1294 and the possibility of the profanation of the house disappeared from Trsato in Croatia. According to some shepherds, it was seen on December 10, 1294, being borne aloft by angels across the Adriatic Sea, and came to rest in a wooded area 4 miles from Recanati in Italy. The news spread fast, and thousands came to examine the tiny house, which resembled a church. The house became a place of pilgrimage, and many miracles took place. Bandits from the nearby wooded area began to plague the pilgrims, so the house was borne to a safer spot a short distance away. But the spot where the house was finally to rest was still not settled, since the 2 brothers who owned the land were quarreling. The house was moved a 3rd time to the site it now occupies. The brothers became reconciled as soon as the house settled in its final location. Incidentally, wherever it landed, the Holy House rested miraculously on the ground without a foundation.